Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I'm Tatu Zakiyatun. I'm a doctoral student of Atmajaya University, Indonesia, and today I'd like to participate in IEC International Conference to describe my study about the cultural identity and its impact to students' English proficiency. And this is the case study that I have done in Al-Mansuriyah Islamic Boarding School, Tangerang. So in introductions, I see that language is not only showing the cultures of speakers, but also reflecting and symbolizing someone's identity in social communication. People also categorize by other people according to the language that they speak. In the community, language and culture are closely related. They tie each other based on the movements, deal and couple. Culture is defined as a complex identity which holds a set of symbolic systems, including knowledge of norms, values, beliefs, language, art, and custom, as well as habits and skills learned by individuals as members of given society. In line with the description, the study has been conducted by the researchers has done some reasons. First, the cultural identity of students in Al-Mansuriyah, where they come from different regions, will create different culture that they have. And the second, the use of foreign languages, here is English and Arabic in communication, enable them to lose their heritage language and the cultures. And based on this case, the researchers are intends to do the case in this study. And in the research hub, to know how English language has affected the cultural identity, Sevala in 2011 conducted the study in Guangzhou University, and about 78 students has filled out the questionnaire that relates to the cultural identity and English proficiency. From this, he found that English language has impact to the cultures, while the participants of this study found that westernizing equals better living conditions and more advanced in technology. But they expressed the contradictory feelings that the Chinese university students are harboring toward the English language and Western cultures. And in this case, the study is complete to describe the cultural identity which impacts students' English proficiency at Al-Mansuriyah. And besides that, the researchers should find out the factors that impact student English proficiency in that school. Okay, so how is the methodology that I use? The first one, to get the data, the participants are the students of Al-Mansuriyah High School, Tangerang, and the research questions is how cultural identity impacts students' English proficiency and what factors that impact most students' English proficiency. And the objective of this study, the first one is to investigate the cultural identity of students at Al-Mansuriyah, and the second one is to find out the impact of cultural identity to students' English proficiency at Al-Mansuriyah. And okay, so for the research instrument, I use two research instruments. The first one is observations, and the second one is being questionnaire. The questionnaires include cultural identity questionnaire, which asks about the cultures of the participant, and also the English proficiency questionnaire, which asks about the participant's ability in English process. Okay, so here is the research instrument and how is the finding and the discussions. The data were analyzed in two studies, asking about cultural identity and English proficiency of students at Al-Mansuriyah. The impact of cultural identity to students' English proficiency can be seen from the answers of participants at Al-Mansuriyah that covers both cultural identity and English proficiency. Also, other factors that can be carried out from the observations and interview from the participants. And here the researcher analyzed that the students' cultural identity among Bangladesh and Jambi impact their English proficiency, as it can be indicated from the table that about 50% students' culture affects students' pronunciation and about 50 students' English speaking were affected by the dialects of their cultures. And the researchers identified that cultural identity affects students' English proficiency, especially in speaking, which includes spelling, pronunciation, intonation, and also the structures. And based on the observation and interview that have been done by the researcher found that there are many vectors that impact English proficiency at Taman Surya, such as dialect, pronunciation, heritage language, and language structures. Cultural identity was become interesting use that used to identify the people as the particular character of the group communication system that emerged in particular and certain situations. And from the description, the researcher conduct that cultural identity gives impact to students' English proficiency at Alman Surya Senior High School, especially in speaking English and also language structures. And this is the conclusion. The cultural identity show the culture of students in the school, and they are preserve the culture by joining the cultural event that held annually in the school, and they will use the cultures in the home where they were at home. And finally, cultural identity in Indonesia is varied, and everyone must appreciate the cultures and language that people have to avoid cultural gap and misinterpretations of attitude and act in doing something, especially for educators who meet many people and students different cultures that we must appreciate that the cultures of our students and give them awareness to preserve the language and the cultures. And also this is the appendix that I use in giving the questionnaires to the students. And okay, and this is the reference that I use to support the data. And that's all from me. And I'm Tatu Zakiyatun. Thank you for everyone and thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.